The IMS Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Medical Sciences Hospital is situated in Manipur and has been providing essential medical services to the public for many years. However, over time, several rumors about this hospital have started to spread, and according to these rumors, this place is haunted. It is said that the gynecology department, along with the nearby washrooms and corridors, is not safe at night. One such night, Nurse Ananta, who had recently joined JNIMS hospital, was attending to a patient in the gynecology department when suddenly, she heard someone crying in the corridor. Wondering who could be crying so late at night, she decided to check the corridor. The crying sound was still there, but she couldn't see anyone. Feeling uneasy, she started moving towards the direction of the sound. She reached the end of the corridor, but there was no one in sight. By now, Ananta was frightened because the crying sound was getting louder and louder. She turned back to go to the patient's room, but felt someone standing behind her. Before she could react, the corridor light started flickering and suddenly stopped. She could feel that something unnatural was happening. The crying sound intensified, and when Ananta turned around, she saw a woman dressed in a patient's gown sitting on the floor, scratching the wall while crying. The woman kept repeating, "I was wronged. I was wronged." Ananta was frozen with fear, unable to process what was happening. As she moved closer to the woman, she noticed that the lower half of her body was covered in blood. The moment the woman turned towards Ananta, she was horrified. The woman was holding a dead baby in her hands and was walking toward her. The corridor light started flickering again, and the woman kept saying, "You all did me wrong. You killed me." By now, Ananta was terrified and couldn't move. The blood-soaked woman's eyes were filled with such rage that Ananta's mind went completely blank. Mustering all her courage, she ran and locked herself inside a washroom. She searched for her phone in her pocket to call for help, but to her horror, she had left it in the gynecology department. That night, Ananta remained locked inside the washroom, fearing that she might have to face that horrific woman again. Suddenly, there was a loud knock on the washroom door, followed by complete silence. Terrified, Ananta looked at the large mirror inside the washroom, and what she saw made her freeze in fear. In the mirror's reflection, she saw the same blood-soaked woman standing right behind her. Panicked, Ananta turned around, but no one was there. She felt as if she was losing her mind and desperately wanted to escape. She knew that the other nurses were on the upper floor, but the only way to get there was through the same corridor where she had seen the horrific woman. Having no other choice, she decided to run as fast as she could. But as she was running, her foot hit something, and she fell. When she looked at what she had tripped over, her entire body turned cold. It was the corpse of the same woman she had seen earlier in the corridor. As soon as she saw the dead body, Ananta went into shock and fainted. The next morning when she woke up, she found herself admitted as a patient in the same hospital. She had an IV drip attached, and several nurses were surrounding her. One of the senior nurses came and told Ananta that she believed her, and that the woman she had seen last night was named Sayana. 20 years ago, Sayana had suffered complications during the final weeks of her pregnancy. The doctors had told her family that either the baby or the mother could be saved. The family decided to save the baby, but both Sayana and her child died during the operation. A few months later, a horrific fire broke out at Sayana's husband's house, killing her entire family. Since that tragic day, many people have seen Sayana's spirit. It is believed that her ghost still haunts the gynecology department of this hospital. Hearing this, Ananta was horrified. She immediately resigned from her job, and not only that, she stopped working night shifts altogether, even in other hospitals. So, what do you think? Is JNIMS hospital really haunted?